Good afternoon, Flosstube. It's Lori of MischievousStitches. I want to welcome all of you to my channel today. I'm very glad that you stopped by to visit with me. As always, I have things to share. I have a finish. I have work on my focus piece. Not a lot of work, still very hectic at work, but I did squeeze in some stitches this week, which made me happy and calmed my nerves. I also have some progress on a sale that I'm doing on a Bristol Squirrel sampler, and I have plans for this week for May 1st, and I'll share all that with you today. So let's get started. So the past few weeks, I have been working on, I normally work on right now 3 pieces in what is loosely considered my rotation. I have a large piece, a small piece, and then a sale piece. So I'm going to share with you this piece first. This is Tangled Tidings Merry Christmas by Tellin, Emblem. I'm very close to finishing this up. I found a couple of nights this week, well actually last night and Friday night, to work on this one. And this is my progress. So I didn't realize last week, and I didn't get a lot of stitches done, I'm sorry, the week before. But I had 2 of the petals here on the white poinsettia that had not been filled in. So I filled those in. I finished all of the quilt stars here right above the cartouche. I had another snowflake here, and I outlined this cartouche that's just going to say Christmas inside, not Merry Christmas, but Christmas. And I brought down, filled in a little tiny square here on the border and brought it around last night. So I don't have that much more to go. A lot of the stitching in the remainder is just mainly going to be the border, because in the corners it is a little more heavily stitched. There's some reds that actually point the corners out, as you can see there. And there's another star, looks like a poinsettia there at the bottom underneath Christmas. So I still have a good bit of it to stitch, but it's enough that I should have it finished next weekend, and that's going to be my goal. I'm actually going to work on this one steadily through the week and maybe put a stitch here or 2 in my Bristol sampler, because I finished up my small. So let me share that one with you. So I've been working on Spring Quaker Primrose Cottage, and I have it finished. So I've started it on 28 count Medusa's Gaze, and I love the name of the name of the fabric, Medusa's Gaze. I love it. And this is by a new to me designer, which is Lapin Loops. Isn't it gorgeous? So the purple shades in this fabric worked really well with the called for thread, which was Blooming Crocus. I also talked to you in a previous video. I was told when I purchased it that purchase the thread because the pattern calls for 3 skeins. I bought the 3, but it was suggested I buy only 2. And the 2 friends of mine that have already finished theirs, they've only used the 2 skeins. I had exactly 1 length of thread left as it comes off of the floss card, meaning I had 6 strands of thread, but 1 length of embroidery thread left. So keep that in mind if you saw that previous video or someone's advised you they only use 2. Just know that if you tend to be more of a thread miser, meaning you will stitch to that length of thread until you cannot pull it through without having to rethread the needle, you're going to do fine with 2. But if you're not as miserly with your threads, and that miserly does not have a negative connotation here, you stitch how you want to stitch. It's just a term that I've always heard it referred to as in my stitch group. So again, if you are not miserly with your threads, you may want to get that 3rd strand. But I think this is a beautiful piece. I'm really enjoying stitching these Primrose Cottage. This is my 2nd Primrose Cottage this year. I did the Valentine first because I was at the retreat near a shop in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina for Barefoot Needlearts, which is actually in Surfside. I was there during the Valentine season in February, so I bought it, enjoyed it, bought spring. I've also bought winter and Christmas. and I'll eventually stitch those this year. But really love it. I think it's beautiful. And I have just the piece, the frames to put them in that I bought off of Amazon a few year ago. And I'll get them framed up soon. So there's that one. Let me see, what else do I have going on? My Sal piece, which is the Bristol Squirrel Sampler. I fell behind because I didn't stitch on it last weekend. I was away. If you watched my last video, I was away at Myrtle Beach again, which seems to be a place I'm seeing myself more and more over the year. But this is a piece I'm stitching with my friend Christine. I'm still working on the first page. She has completed the first page. I think we decided, I think she's going to move to the right and do the first row of pages first, and I'm going to move down and do the left hand. I'm going to move vertically where she's going to move her horizontal. So we're going to see it, the piece, we're going to see it develop, but from different places as we stitch it, because this is going to be a years-long process. I need to slow down talking because I'm mixing my words up. But this is where I am on it. I did find time to stitch on it this week. I felt guilty because I did not stitch on it on, I'm sorry. I did not stitch on it last weekend. I don't think I may have, but I don't think I stitched on it the weekend before. So when I picked it up on Thursday of this week, I did this whole motif here. And just as this motif here goes all the way across, or at least does half the sampler, so does this one. It's going to be mimicking itself right below it. So I think this week I'll try to do another, because everything from here up is complete per the page finish and kind of overhangs onto the second page. So this one overhangs, the bottom of it overhangs to the page below it. So I'm very close to a page finish, more than half. So this week I'll try to do one more of those motifs. And since I just stitched on this Thursday, I'm not going to stitch on it. Maybe I do need to put a stitch in it tonight. I'll do that because I don't want to get behind. I've been, other than like the 2 weekends before, I've been stitching on this since February along with Christine every week. And then what do I have? I've got plans on May 1st. My friends Mary and Natasha, we visited a local shop, Stitching Kitten, in Irmo, South Carolina last month in March. I think it was the 28th. We traveled up, spent the day together, had lunch. Her daughter, Mary's daughter April, came along, and we picked up some things that they had from market. And we both decided, all three decided to stitch this piece from Teresa Kogut, and this is the Hello Spring. It's a booklet. So there's other patterns inside, I believe. Yes, other patterns inside, but we're going to stitch the one on the cover. So I kitted it up. There were a few colors that they did not have in the shop, like 2 or 3. We just matched them up, pulled the DMC equivalent for those specific colors, and converted them into a color that we liked best. And we did it as a group, so we're all having the same piece. And I didn't buy the call for fabric. Now, the call for fabric, which I do love what I see here on the cover, but we know that's not always true to color. I do like this color, and it calls for Cottage Bouquet. Is that the one? Give me just a second as okay, so yes, it's Cottage Bouquet is the name of the pattern that we're stitching, and it's on Vintage Country Mocha. And we chose, this is 32 count Moonstone even weave from Fibers on a Whim. And it tends to, let me look out at it a little outside of the stitch light here. Yeah, it does look to have like a light green undertone. It is creamy with a little bit of a green undertone, and it's very lightly mottled, and I really, really like it. So let me see if I can fan those colors out on it. And I'm not very good at this. I know others are known for fanning their threads. I'm not. But I do love these colors, and I think they play very nicely on the, oops, see, I've already dropped two. And I have very long fingers, but yet can't seem to hold them. So this is the colors. I'm gonna put it over here away from that light so you can see it a little better. So I have my stitch light here, and this side is a window, but it's still not giving enough light through that window for me to show it. So maybe about right here is, so anyway, you get a decent view of how it's gonna look with those threads. So I like that. So that one we will start on May 1st. And we decided that day when we were together that we were gonna do it on May 1st because there's been a couple of years that we were together with Mary, and we'd always make plans, and there were wild plans of all these starts and finishes, and so I've got lots of Mary Sal's, but we refer to it lovingly as Mary Mania because she would always invite us to her home and we would stay over. And this time we are still making plans to get together, but not for Mary Mania. So there's that one. So that's an upcoming start. And then this one, May 1st start, upcoming May 1st start. This piece, I need to pull some fabric. I have plenty of fabric, but I need to start on it as soon as I can. So I'm hoping this week as well on this one. Actually, two more. Once I finish Tangled Tidings, the Mary Mania piece will be started, but there's no pressure to finish that anytime soon. This one is Hands-On Designs Mend. I just got the pattern, but a local group in Columbia is stitching on this one, and then they're going to assemble these together as a group on at their June meeting. So I have the pins. I ordered the pins and the piece. I just need to get it stitched up. I don't think it's going to take a lot of stitching time, but it's not going to get completed if I don't get started on it soon. So I need to get those colors pulled. But this week, I will have it pulled and the colors with it next week to share with you, and hopefully a tiny start. And this same designer is coming to Barefoot Needlearts on Tuesday, June 11th. So I have a kit that I got last weekend for that. And I have my floss bags here with the colors, and this all come kitted for me. I picked up again last weekend while I was at Barefoot Needlearts, and this is the piece, and it's around, like, I think she released a bee at market this year that's gorgeous. But after her class, I'm gonna know how to finish these rounds, and I'm looking forward to it because Kathy, let's just get to it, she is an awesome finisher, and I love her pieces because they're put together, they're tidy and neat and not too much frou-frou, but just enough. I love her designs, the simplicity of them, and I'm loving this one. So I do need to get started on this one because this class is the 11th, and this one is June 1st. I know I'm crunching. I'm gonna have some crunch time in there, but that's those. And then I'm also working on a shop model for Barefoot Needlearts, and this is my start of the Artsy Housewife, Gorgeous. And I chose the fabric, and I think this is a piece of Atomic Ranch Dune, and it's a 36 count. There was a good, it's not necessarily what I would call confetti stitching, but a lot of changing of colors here because it is a flower. And I hope to have that one done sometime this week too, because I would like to drop this. I'm putting myself into a pressure point, or into a pressure cooker, let's say that, because I'd like to drop this off to them too, but I got when I go for the class, but then I'm gonna have, we'll see how it works out. I always do that to myself, and then what inevitably will happen is everything falls to the wayside, and I start something new because I'm feeling pressure about those pieces. The more pressure I feel, the less I want to stitch on something. I talked in my last video about how having stalled stitches where you get really close to an end of a piece and then my desire to stitch on it just almost evaporates. And I have to really push myself to finish. It's kind of the same situation. I've got two, and I've done this. No one's done it to me. I do it to myself. I've got these two pieces that really have to be done in the month, and I'll feel guilty. I don't want to go on a guilt trip, but I'll take myself there. I don't have them finished, or I'm not working on them, and then I end up not working on them at all. So I've got to find a way around that and quit and learn how to play that mind game with myself, because I really want to get them knocked out. Okay, so this week I had someone reach out to me on the last video when I shared my finishes of my strawberry pieces, and this is one of them. This one's by Lala's Studio, and it's strawberry. I forget the name of it now. But I stitched this one several years ago. I finished stitching last year, but I started it in Mania of 2018 while I was at the Cross Stitch Retreat, New Jersey, when it was, Flosstube Retreat, New Jersey, the first one. And this was one of those 18 starts that I made. And I've been laboring away on this one and Strawberry Fair, which is by October House, on fabric to finish them with. So this sweet lady, another Carolina girl just to the north of me, reached out and said she had a piece of fabric that she thought would work and sent it to me. So here's the piece she sent, and it's white instead of the other pieces I have are yellow with strawberries or pink. But this one has little bumblebees and the strawberry blossoms, and I think it's going to work really well with this one. And so I want to get this one stitched up or sewn up as a pillow. So thank you so much for sending that out to me. Carolina girls are the best in the world, I tell you. And what else do I have going on? I had some giveaways on my last video, and I'm going to read the names off again. One of them lives locally, and when I didn't hear from her, I thought it was odd, so I sent her a message. And she said that she had responded via email, but I didn't see a response, so I'll go back into my email. Anyway, I have had no response to that pattern, those giveaway winners. So let me read them off again. So last week, the pattern that the winners had won was Vintage Fair, and that is Donna Kitchens, who I have heard from, Okie Stitches, and Angela D. Zarenko 3466. Now, I left messages on your messages on my video and mentioned them in the last video, but if any of you know these stitchers, again, Okie Stitches and Angela D. Zarenko, reach out to them and let them know. My email address is always in the description box below my videos. If they can email me, just say, hey, I won your Vineyard Fair pattern. Could you, and here's my address so that I can get it out to them. Next week, if I've not heard from them, I'm just going to offer it up to someone else from the comments in that video. But I'd really like to get it to the ones that won. And so I'm going to put those to the side. Now, last week, I offered up another piece, and this is the Queen Bee, and I had 3 of those as well. And the winners this week are Karen Decker and Sheila Elder 5077 and Julie R. Stitches. So everyone, if I've called your name here, or if you know them, reach out, because there's been giveaways. I say that only because there's been giveaways that I've won before, and if you're not actively watching someone each week, you're not going to know. We stitchers do have a large but small town community, meaning we all know of each other, even if we're not friends in life. We're friends through Instagram or Facebook or some of the stitch groups on Facebook is what I mean. If you know them, reach out and let them know so they can respond to me. They obviously wanted the pattern because they put in for it, and I'd like to get it to them. So again, this week, Julie R. Stitches, Karen Decker, and Sheila Elder 5077. These are great designs, and I had purchased this one at market myself, and I look forward to stitching this. This would look good with that strawberry fabric I just showed too. So let me pull it back over here. Where did I stick it? Just that little bit of time, and I've already pushed it to the side. Wouldn't that look cute on the back with the bee skep, and you've got the bees there and the color yellow? Anyway, just a thought, just a thought. So I'm going to put these aside because I want to make sure they get where they're going if I get those addresses. I'll put it here for now. And then what else do I have before me? There was a pattern. Last week I was going to share a freebie pattern that another stitcher, Kylie, had gifted our Airbnb mates last weekend, and I couldn't find it. And in the video I thought, well, I've left it downstairs, and I go down, I can't find it. So I message out to the girls, have you seen a pouch? And everyone looked through their bags, they didn't have it. So I reached out to the shop owners, and I got a message back the next day that they were holding it hostage because I left flamingos all over their shop. but all kidding aside, I had it in 2 days. Thank you very much, my friends. So this is one of the pieces. This is the piece that Kylie gifted us all. And actually, I will link her Instagram below because she finished hers yesterday. Way to go, Kylie. But this is the piece, and it was just a free pattern, a gift, a little friendship gift for our Airbnb mates last week. And she's finished hers up, and the colors are so bright and happy. And we all chose the same fabric and the same colors. We just pulled, because Kylie had gifted us with those. I'm grabbing them out of the bag. So here is, I'm sorry, wrong one. Here is the fabric. It's a little yellow, orangey, sun and beachy. And this is, am I choosing the same one? Right one, yeah. And this is the color. See how happy and cheerful they are? And I will, again, I'll link her Instagram below so that you can see her finish because it's really cute. I know 2 of the girls started it last week, both Kira and Kylie. I'm not sure if the others did. And here's my little bag that I left. So I had 2 kitted patterns, small patterns, a sticker from another stitcher, and I'll have to link her below. This is a sticker of one of her designs. And I'll link her Etsy below. But this is one of her designs, and it's like vintage tattoos. Oops, do I have it upside down? No, I had it right. And I actually saw her last year stitching this, and it was very fun to watch her stitch on it, stitching her model. But I'll link her below. But anyway, I had 2 kitted pieces, and the other piece that I had in here is this one, and it's a piece of Zweigart Peach Rose fabric. And these colors, and they weren't the call for colors, I just changed them up into just some pinks that I liked because it's a flamingo. We had a theme last week. And this is a Barefoot Needlearts piece, and this is Our Flock Rocks. And I keep saying rules, so I had to read it to make sure. I don't know why I have it stuck in my head as rules. So that should be a quick finish, but I've got it set aside because I want it to be one that I work on this week. No, not this week. In the next few months. Be a quick little thing, something I can take to the beach. And I think that's it. So I've showed you Kylie's, I've showed you my focus pieces, my plans for the week. Oh, there is one other thing. One other thing. Give me just a second to find it. That's one thing about filming videos. You lay everything out and you can't find anything. And that's what I've done. Did I stick it here or no? I had one more piece that I was going to give away today, and I'm not sure where I stuck it, so I'm thinking I must have stuck it in one of these bags. And it's not in that one, and I had it right here. Oh, I have it. Here it is. So this week I'm only going to give one pattern away, and if you're still here with me, thank you. If you come back each week and you watch, thank you. I can't really take credit for these patterns because they were gifted to me by October House Needlearts, which is Robin, very graciously and kindly for me to pass on to all of you. And I'm very thankful for her generosity for you guys. So if you have won one of the patterns in the past few weeks, please, when you receive it in the mail from me, if you will reach out to Robin and just thank her for her kindness. Without these very talented designers, where would we be? But this week, I'm going to give away Tulip Cottage. I only have the one this week. Beautiful piece. It has a rabbit, and it looks like a log cabin. You have an alphabet there, so it looks like shades of brown and green. Looks like some pies down here, maybe strawberry. Very sweet little sampler. If you're interested in this piece, you must be 18 or older to participate in the giveaway. Just leave me a comment below, and there are berry bowls here. So tell me, what's your favorite berry? Again, do not mention giveaway down below. You must be 18 or older. And if you win, I will reach out to you next weekend through your comment on this video. I will leave a comment to you. Make sure you come back and check to see if you've won next week. And I will have my email address in the description box below. Reach out to me, give me your, when you win, give me your name and your mailing address, and I'll get it out to you as soon as I receive it. And also, when you do receive, for those that's already won, when you receive your pattern, will you just drop me an email or a message on Instagram to let me know that you received it? I'd appreciate it. Anyway, I hope everyone has a wonderful week full of stitching. Don't stretch yourself too thin or put too much in your crock pot and let it, we all know the disasters that can create when they, when there's too full of steam, like I'm doing this week. But I'll keep myself sane, and I'll look forward to being with y'all next week and update you with my progress. Until next time, bye-bye.